How's it going, everybody? I'm the Blind Guy, and welcome to my starter guide for Eternal Strands. In this guide, we're going to be going over everything you need to know in order to make your way through the game. And stay tuned until the end. We have some advanced tips and tricks on harvesting. If you're not sure what that is, stay tuned till the end. Now, as you might imagine, in a game where Shadow of the Colossus meets Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, your hub is somewhere you're going to be spending a lot of your time. So starting off at Casman's Caravan, you can see here we can change our equipment. You can't do this out in the field, you can only do it here. So as you go out on expeditions, you're going to change your gear here. As you see, I'm not very far into the game, but this is what I have so far. And you can change your weapons. We have a bow, flame bow. We have a two-handed weapon and a sword and shield. That is kind of the staple as you go across through the game. Now, as you go out in the world and you kill enemies and you collect resources, you can use these resources to trade in. If you have an abundance of ones that you don't need, you can trade those in and salvage them. And that is how you upgrade your different stations, your blacksmith, your magic dealer. Um, and you would do that right here. So as you can see, we can upgrade the caravan, we can upgrade the forge, we can upgrade the archive, which is going to give you more healing items and resistance files, and the Entelier, which that one is the most expensive right now, at least for me. For level 3, we need 100 resources to salvage. So heading over here to the blacksmith. Now, there's a very deep and robust crafting system here. Everything that you pick up in the world in terms of weapons and armor is not something you can utilize right away. You would need to come back to the hub and craft that. So as you can see here, we have blueprints for a frost sword and shield. And basically, with the crafting materials, you would utilize these categories of resources in order to craft this item. So as you can see here, it's manipulating the stats of the item depending on the resource that we use. So obviously, the better quality, legendary, epic, etc., that you use, it's going to get better stats, going to get better weapon power, heat resistance, cold resistance, that sort of thing, and the weight of it. So very interesting system that they have here. The also the color and everything of the resources that you're using in your gear and your armor and your weapons is also going to determine the color of it. So if you have a resource with red and black streaks through it, you use that in your armor, that's going to show up in your armor. I think that is very, very cool. There's no transmog system, but you can manipulate how your armor looks by the types of resources that you're using in it. Now, also at the forge, you can upgrade equipment, but also there is an option for reforging. Now, sometimes that may be the better option if you have better materials that you can just reforge what you've already made. And also, there is the option to dismantle here, which, as you see, I haven't even looked at this yet, but apparently you get all your materials back, which is very cool. I like that. So, no wasted materials. All right. So, moving on here, we're going to go check out the Antelier. And we heavily use magic in the game. So, we have kinetic powers, frost powers, and fire powers. Now you can upgrade these up to 3 times, so that equals you're going to be killing the big creatures and big robots basically 3 to 4 times to get the all these strands that you need to upgrade those powers. So how you get these is each creature has a locus point that you pull the strand from and harvest it so that you can upgrade your powers. We'll talk more about that in a couple minutes here. So the other station over here is the archive. You would build your codex with Leanne here. Now, the codex is pretty important in the fact that the first time you kill an enemy, the locus point might not be exposed and you may not get the strand the first time. So basically, when you kill the enemy for the first time, You're going to get a Codex entry once you come back here, and they're going to observe and compile information about the creature, and you can look in here and it'll tell you exactly what you have to do to expose the locus point. Some of them are pretty easy to guess where they are, and others are pretty complex, I will say, to figure out like what exactly you have to do. But I enjoy that. It's pretty fun. So we're gonna jump into some combat here, and I'm going to share some tips and tricks and advanced information. So let's get into it. Now, the combat in Eternal Strands has a lot going for it. It has a physics system, and in terms of getting crafting resources, you can bend the game to your will. You can essentially manipulate the loot that you get by utilizing the elements. So, with the Ark of the Stricken Earth here, basically what you can do is you can use fire to take off the armor, you can use ice to take off the armor, depending what element you use. And I use this kinetic bubble because that, well, like when you use fire, it superheats it and it basically turns that into a microwave and superheats his armor so that you can whack away at it. It'll fall off and you get the resources. But like I said, depending on the element that you use, you're going to get different loot, which is very, very cool. I like that. You have more kinetic powers where you can throw things at enemies. Um, Enemies can throw you around. I mean, the physics system is just amazing. I like it a lot. The combat is extremely fun. So let's talk about harvesting because that's an important piece of the game to get your strands and get your powers leveled up. So basically, as you might imagine, on this guy, his locus point is underneath his chest plate. So basically, we have to get that super cooled, super heated, and remove that. Now, as you see, his locus point is exposed, so we can crawl right up to that and yank it out of his chest and get a upgrade for our kinetic powers. So pretty awesome. I was going to do guides on how to, do each of these, how to kill each creature or arc. But honestly, there's no right or wrong way how to, break parts off of these creatures and get resources. There is obviously specific ways to harvest, but I feel like that's part of the fun, at least for me. I'm playing this before release, and I'm just reading the Codex and trying to figure out exactly how to harvest all the locus points on all the creatures. So it's been pretty awesome. But if you guys want harvesting guides, I can certainly do that, so let me know in the comments. There are also extreme weather conditions you need to be aware of as you go out on your expeditions and your hunts. Basically, there could be a drought where using fire is going to set everything ablaze. So obviously, fighting a dragon in these conditions, you're probably going to have a bad time and you might want to reset the world state. Or you could have the exact opposite. You could have a flash freeze where everything is frozen over, and obviously you're going to need your frost resistance vials. There's also other weather conditions, but I'll let you guys experience that for yourselves. So like I said, you're going to be killing these guys at least 3 to 4 times to get all the strands you need. Probably more than that if you're going to be grinding resources, because the grind in this game, I feel like, is very real. So that is going to do it for this video. This should be all the information you would need to get you on a nice start in your journey in this game. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I will be sure to answer. So hopefully you're all doing well. Stay tuned. More coming at you. Take care.